All right, thanks, guys. Happy Monday to you. The Bulls take on the Knicks, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan. Chicago's -1 on the road, totals 223. Pretty good two-way action on the spread here. Not a whole lot of movement there. We did see a 2-point move upward on the total in this one. Once again, Chicago's -1, total open 221 up to 223. 60% are leaning Chicago, 56% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Knicks are -102 on the money line. Dennis Smith Jr. and Reggie Bullock are out for the Knicks. They're also 0-3 straight up on the year with losses to Boston, Brooklyn, and the Spurs. The Knicks have dropped 11 out of their last 13, taking on the Central Division. They're also 5-10 against the number in their last 15, dating back to last season. Now, as far as this year, their defense allowed over 113 points in all three of their games. Now, Chicago on the other side, they are led by Zach LaVine, who's dropping 21 a game and 5 assists. They're also led by Lauri Markkanen, who's scoring 18 points per contest. He's also hauling in 12 rebounds a game. Now, Chicago beat Memphis 110-102 just 2 short games ago. When it comes to the total, Chicago's 80% of the over in their last 5 on the road. I'm going to lean toward the road team in this one. Give me the Bulls -1 and the over 223 in that game. Next matchup, Pacers. Pistons, 7 o'clock Detroit. The Pacers are -2.5 total at 212 and a hook. No movement on the spread in this one. Pretty good two-way action there. We did see some movement upward on the total, however. Once again, Indiana's -2.5. Total open 211.5 up to 212 and a hook. 54% are leaning Detroit, 67% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Pistons are +110 on the money line. Now, Detroit already beat Indiana in the season opener. It was actually a 9-point victory. They won 119-110 in that matchup. The Pistons are led by, believe it or not, Derrick Rose, who's scoring 25 points per contest, 5 assists per game. They're also led by Andre Drummond, who's dropping 22 a game. He's also bringing in 16 rebounds per contest. That's first in the NBA. Indiana, on the other side, 0-2 straight up on the year, 0-2 against the number. They're averaging under 106 points per contest of scoring. They're also 0-6 against the number in their last 6, dating back to last year. Pacers, 2-13 straight up in their last 15 on the road, 0-6 against the number in their last 6, taking on the East. And obviously, Victor Oladipo is out indefinitely. Lamb is also questionable tonight as well. Now, total-wise, Indiana, 6-4 to the over in their last 10, taking on Detroit. 2-1 to the over at home. Meanwhile, the Pistons, I don't know why I put that down there, 2-1 to the over at home, because they're on the road, so don't worry about that stat there. But anyway, Detroit on the other side, 5-1 to the over in their last 6, dating back to last season. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Pistons +3 and the over 212.5 in that game. Next matchup, Magic. Raptors, 7:30 Toronto. The Raptors are 4.5 total, 212 and a hook. We saw a half a point fade of Toronto and movement downward on the total. The Raptors open 5 down to 4.5. Total open 213 down to 212 and a hook. 68% are leaning Raptors, 67% shaded toward the over. Right now, Orlando is +165 on the money line. The Magic, 0-2 against the number on the year. Their offense is averaging just 96 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in their last 5 straight games played in the month of October. They're 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, taking on the Raptors. Now, Toronto on the other side, 2-1 straight up on the year, 2-1 against the number. Successful covers over Chicago and New Orleans. They're led by Pascal Siakam, who's dropping 29 a game, 11 boards. They're also led by Kyle Lowry, who's averaging 21 points a game and 7 assists. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 2-1 to the over on the year, 5-1 to the over in their last 6 played in October. Meanwhile, Orlando is 67% to the over in their last 9 on the road, dating back to last year. They're also 6-4 to the over in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Raptors. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it down, and take Toronto -4. And the over 212.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Monday's NBA action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships and packages that you can subscribe to. You can also access my current record for free right there on the homepage. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some more NBA action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Sixers taking on the Hawks. 7:30 Eastern tip-off in Atlanta. Now, this game's currently off the board. Joel Embiid is questionable with an ankle, so we'll have to see if he's going to play tonight. Both teams are 2-0 straight up, 2-0 against the spread. Now, the Sixers team, they have failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 head-to-head matchups with Atlanta. They're also just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 ball games played in Atlanta. The Hawks on the other side, 9-3 against the number in their last dozen, 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 at home. Of course, gotta love that Oregon player in Atlanta. I forget what his name is, but he plays a lot of bangers on the organ in the middle of the game. It's really cool. So if you're happening to check out the Sixers-Hawks game, listen for the organ player. He's outstanding. But anyway, this Atlanta team's led by Trae Young, who's dropping 39 a game, 9 assists. Right behind him is Jabari Parker with 14 points per contest, and John Collins is bringing down 11 rebounds a game. That's good for 11th in the NBA. Now, total-wise, Atlanta's 2-0 to the under for the year. Their defense is allowing just 99 points per contest. Meanwhile, the Sixers 8-3 to the under in their last 11, dating back to last year. So although we have no line currently posted for this game, I'm going to tend to lean toward Atlanta in this matchup here. And if that total opens up within reason, we'll probably end up leaning toward the under in that one as well. All right, next game. Cavaliers, Bucks, 8 o'clock, Milwaukee. The Bucks are minus 15, total 223. Now, we did see a half a point move toward Milwaukee and movement upward on the total. The Bucks open 14.5 up to 15. Total open 222.5 up to 223. 63% are leaning Bucks, 61% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Cavaliers are plus 1475 on the money line. Cleveland, believe it or not, they're 2-0 against the spread this year. They've had successful covers over Indiana and Orlando. They're also allowing just 96 points per contest. They're led by Tristan Thompson, who's scoring 21 a game, 12 rebounds. They're also led by Colin Sexton, who's scoring 17 a game, and Kevin Love, who's dropping 16 a game, but he's also hauling in 16 rebounds per game on average as well. Now, Milwaukee, on the other side, they failed to cover versus Miami in their last game. They're also 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games, taking on the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee gave up 111 points and 131 points respectively in each of their first 2 games. When it comes to the total, Milwaukee is 11-2 to the under in their last 13 games played on a Monday. Quirky stat for you there. Now, Cleveland on the other side, 2-0 to the under for the year. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me the Cavs plus 15 and the under 223 in that game. Next matchup. Warriors, Pelicans, 8 o'clock, New Orleans. This is another game that is currently off the board. No line currently posted for this game. Both teams are winless on the year. Golden State 0-2 straight up on the season, 0-2 against the number. Alec Burks is questionable with an ankle. Willie Cauley-Stein out with a foot. Kevon Looney out with a hammy. And Smologic out with an ankle. This Golden State team is allowing 131 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 ball games dating back to last season. Now, the Pels on the other side, they've actually successfully covered the number against Houston in their last game. It was a 3-point loss to them, but they did cover the number. They're led by Brandon Ingram, who's scoring 27 points per contest, 9 rebounds. Josh Hart's right behind him with 18 points per game, 7 rebounds. And Lonzo Ball is actually dropping 14 points per contest and 7 assists. The Pels are 8-0 against the number in their last 8 games played on a Monday. So if you're into historical and quirky trends, there's a good one for you. Now, total-wise, the Pelicans are 3-0 to the over for the year, 90% to the over in their last 10, taking on the Pacific Division. So once again, no line currently posted for this game, but I'm going to tend to lean toward the Pelicans and the over in this matchup here. All right, next game. Thunder, Rockets, 8 o'clock, Houston. The Rockets are minus 10.5, total 225 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Houston, a movement downward on the total. The Rockets open 10, up to 10.5. Total open 227, down to 225.5. OKC is 2-1 against the spread for the year. They've had successful covers over Golden State and Utah. They're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's dropping 24 points a contest, 6 boards a game. Danilo Gallinari's right behind him with 20 points a contest, 4 rebounds a game. And of course, Big Steven Adams, he's bringing in 11 rebounds per contest on his side of things. Now, Houston on the other side, a couple guys out for him. Gerald Green and Nene still out indefinitely for Houston. The Rockets are 0-2 against the number for the year. They failed to cover over the Pelicans and the Bucks. They're allowing 120 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 games when favored. So, of course, that's stat dating back to last year. Now, total-wise, OKC 3-0 to the under for the year. I'm going to lean toward OKC plus 11 after buying the hook and the under 225.5 in that matchup. Next game, Trailblazers, Spurs, 8:30 San Antonio. The Spurs are 5.5, total 220. So a half a point move toward San Antonio and movement downward on the total. The Spurs open 5 up to 5.5. Total open 222.5 down to 220 even. 59% are leaning Portland, 70% shaded toward the over. Right now the Trailblazers are plus $1.80 on the money line. Portland's 2-1 straight up on the year, 2-1 against the number. They're led by Dame Lillard, who's dropping 32 points per contest, 6 assists. CJ McCollum's right behind him with 22 points a game. And Hassan Whiteside bringing in 14 rebounds per contest, 11 on the defensive side of things. Now, when it comes to the offensive side of things for Portland, they scored 121 points or more in their last 2 straight. They're 4-1 against a number in their last 5 when traveling, dating back to last year. Now, the Spurs on the other side, 0-2 against the number for the season. They're allowing 117 points per contest. They've also dropped 4 out of their last 6 straight up, taking on the Northwest Division. And one more thing to add about San Antonio, they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 games played on a Monday night. Now, total-wise, the Spurs are 2-0 to the over on the year, 5-1 to the over in their last 6 head-to-head matchups with Portland. The Blazers on the other side, 2-0 to the over on the road. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it up, and take Portland plus 6 and the over 220 in that game. Next matchup, Nuggets, Kings, 10 o'clock Sacramento. The Nuggets are 5.5, total 219. We saw a half a point move toward Denver and movement downward on the total. The Nuggets open 5 up to 5.5, total open 221 down to 219. 75% are leaning Denver, 77% shaded toward the over. Right now, Sacramento's plus 215 on the money line. The Kings are 0-3 straight up on the year. They're winless. They're also 0-3 against the spread. They're allowing 120 points per contest. Marvin Bagley's out with a thumb. He's going to be out for a while. The Nuggets on the other side, 2-0 straight up on the year. They're allowing just 103 points per contest. They're led by Nick Jokic, who's got 22 points per game, 14 rebounds for him. They're also led by Jamal Murray, who's dropping 21 points per contest on average as well. The Nuggets are 7-2 against the number in their last 9 head-to-head matchups with the Kings. They're also 10-4 against the spread in their last 14 in Sacramento. Now, total-wise, Denver's 2-0 to the under on the year. Sacramento 2-1 to the under themselves. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it down, and take Denver minus 5 and the under 219 in that game. All right, next matchup. It is going to be Jazz, Suns, 10 o'clock Phoenix. The Jazz are minus 4.5, total 216 and a hook. So a half a point fade of Utah and movement downward on the total. The Jazz open minus 5 down to 4.5. Total open 219 down to 216 and a hook. 56% are leaning Utah, 55% shaded toward the over. Right now, Phoenix is plus 165 on the money line. Ricky Rubio is questionable with a knee tonight for the Suns. DeAndre Ayton obviously still serving that suspension. He was suspended 25 games. Utah on the other side, 2-1 straight up on the year. Wins over Sacramento and OKC. They're allowing just 90 points per contest on average. They're led by Donovan Mitchell, who's dropping 24 points per game. Bogey Bogdanovic is dropping 21 per game. And Rudy Gobert is bringing down 10 rebounds per contest. One more thing to add about Utah. They are 5-0 against the number in their last 5, taking on the Suns. Now, total-wise, the Jazz are 3-0 to the under for the year. Phoenix 2-1 to the under themselves. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Utah minus 4. And the under 216.5 in that game. And we're going to go ahead and slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Hornets-Clippers, 10:30 Los Angeles. The Clippers are minus 16, total 226.5. We saw a 1.5 point move toward Los Angeles and movement downward on the total. The Clippers open 14.5 up to minus 16. Total open 227.5 down to 226 and a hook. 65% are leaning Clippers, 62% shaded toward the under. Right now, Charlotte's plus 1,600 on the money line. Now, the Hornets are just 1-2 straight up on the year. They failed to cover in 2 out of those 3 games. Nick Batum's out with a hand, and they're also allowing 122 points per contest. Now, the Clippers on the other side, 2-1 straight up on the year, 2-1 against the number. They're averaging 125 points per contest. Kawhi's leading the charge with 26 points per game, 8 assists. Lou Will, the sixth man, six man like Lou Will, he's right behind him with 22 points per contest, 6 assists. And Patrick Beverley is bringing down 7 rebounds per game. Now the Clippers are a perfect 9-0 straight up in their last 9 at home, taking on the Hornets. They're also 4-1 against a number in their last 5, taking on the Southeast Division. Now total-wise, the Clippers 2-1 to the over on the year, 15-5 to the over in their last 20 at home, dating back to last year. Charlotte on the other side, 2-1 to the over for this season. Give me the Clippers minus 16. In the over 226.5 in that game. And we're going to go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. I got the Jazz minus 4 under 216.5. Clippers minus 16 over 226 and a hook. Denver minus 5 under 219. Portland plus 6 over 220. OKC plus 11 under 225.5. Pelicans winning that one outright in the over. Cleveland plus 15 under 223. Atlanta winning their one outright in the under in that game. Toronto minus 4 over 212.5. Detroit plus 3 over 212.5. And last but certainly not least, Chicago minus 1 over 223. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Terry Hermosillo, Cohen Pannell, Amin Ahmadi, Aaron McLemore, Ronnie Christie, Trevor Walker, Eric Card, who Eric actually did something really interesting. He actually provided an all-NHL dream team for fantasy. I know that Brian Marchand was on there. I think Drew Pasternak was on that list. So very cool post by Eric Card. We love that, man. That's a really cool post, and that's great. That's great. Keep up the good work. Shout out to AC Michelin, the Proline Master, who, if you haven't checked him out, Proline Master has a channel of his own. He does very similar content to mine. A lot of good stuff, good picks, good plays. Once again, that is the Proline Master. Shout out to you. Shout out to Joe Delator, Iraq, the real DJ X214. Shout out to Demetrius Milonis. Shout out to Marcos Salinas, Ronnie Hockley, Braden Kirshner, Munchy Crunchy. And last but certainly not least, shout out to Jarrell Aroso. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. You can also access my current record for free right on the homepage. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for tuning in right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.